Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Antimatter Chemistry. And I got a few comments in the last episode on how we can control this power orb thingy and the generator up top. So we're gonna test it out and see if it works. We basically need the exact same system that we had previously down below when we had the ender power. So we have two RF monitors, one for 95% to emit a signal or an alarm level, and then one for less than 5%. So as soon as this is filled over 95%, we're gonna get a signal. And once it's drained below 95%, both of these are not gonna emit a signal. And once it hits below 5%, it's going to emit a signal and it's going to power the sequencer, which is basically just set to delay of 1, sequence length 1, and this first block is enabled. And it's set to once 2, which means that when a redstone signal is received, the loop will cycle once and then it will restart if a new pulse arrives. So basically, if I imitate this guy turning on by disabling this and enabling it, we pulse the redstone block over, and if it turns off again, like that, we pulse the redstone block back. So by default, we want it on off because the generator doesn't need to run because our power storage is filled to the brim. So what we need is then this redstone transmitter to be hooked up to the generator up top. And I think we can manage by going underneath here somehow. Somewhere, actually, I think we have the trash can somewhere on the back. We can add this guy on the other side. Yeah, here we have the trash can. Let's do this. This is going to be on the nether star, which is perfectly fine. So we're going to do that facing downwards. And in here, we should see that guy. Yeah, this guy on the nether star. And here we need to do sensor for redstone signal 5. We need to just basically copy this connector and put it here. Oh, not create, paste. There we go. So we're going to redstone 5 on output color white. And that should trigger all of the generators. And if we imitate that on the bottom, so just to test it out, let's go back to the Rubik's Cube. And we're going to trigger this like we did before. And then we should be seeing 25 million RF coming in. No? Hold on. You should be working. You are power 15. You are emitting. So, rainbow generator. I can't click on it. There we go. So you are not on. And if I flip this lever, this triggers. Okay. So let's see. Nether star. Output mode false. Or analog mode false. That's fine. Output 15. Redstone sensor equals 15. I mean, we can do just over 0. It equals or less. Is that equals or less? Hold on. Now it's running. Let's go back to the Rubik's Cube and let's trigger it again. Rainbow generator, you're still running. Okay, so I need to figure out the sensor mode. For some reason, it's not doing a good job of detecting what this is. So analog output the same power level as the input instead of always 15 or 0. Yeah, that's fine. It's going to emit 15 anyway. Right, I need to figure out the sensor mode here. So let me do a bit of tweaking and hopefully we can get it working. I believe what the issue was that this wasn't giving it a proper block update. That is what I assume. Because I got it working in every other way, and if we extend a redstone block by powering this guy and emulating it like so, we do trigger all the generators, and it works just fine. So that is really cool, and it's going to work beautifully and turn on the spawner and off when need be. Spawner, the generator, that's what I'm talking about. Anyhoozle, this works. We now have automated power all the time, and currently this isn't draining because the generator has a backstock of power. And it's just gonna take slowly to drain 25 million RF. And I was wondering, did I break the game last episode? Because I filled this up to the brim, and then it wasn't draining power for quite a while. And I assumed then that it was just draining the power from this rainbow generator. It doesn't even show here. It shows in here that we have 63, yeah, it's outputting 620 RF per tick, but this guy is not showing how much power it has on the one probe, I think. So anyway, power is working. It is beautiful. And I think it's time that we tackle some more machine automation. I want to do the automation for all of the processors for refined storage, so we can automate making all of the external storages, exporters, all of that good stuff. And then we can possibly tackle maybe some alloys as well. That could be a neato idea. And automating these processors is as simple as breaking these 3 cables here in the back, setting up detectors with exporters on top. We then need to configure all of these furnaces to be input on top, output on the bottom, like so, and the last one like so. And then we can do, let's say, the diamond processor right here, the gold one in the middle, and the basic one there. So we can then just double click all of these in. We can also grab our keys and just quantify this. And I don't want to keep over 1,000 of each of these because we don't need more than that. So we're just gonna do 1,000 for each one, and it should be just fine. If I can reach detectors in the back, I can. So emit a signal when we're under 1,000 of 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna do the diamond one on here, and then the middle one is gonna be the gold, 1,000, and then also the basic one, 1,000, emit when under the amount. And then we can do redstone mode, redstone mode, redstone mode. And I should have the recipes for all of these. Yeah, so we need just to make one of this, one of these, and one of these. And then bam, bam, bam. And also some crafting upgrades, 3 of those. Thank you. So we can then do the diamond processor crafting upgrade, the gold processor crafting upgrade, and the iron processor crafting upgrade. There we go. Some of these guys have a bit of power left, so let's grab this guy to give them permanent power. Bam, bam, bam. There you go. Okay, they're currently just the hardened furnace, which I think it's perfectly fine. It should be good. Do we have this hooked up? We do. Okay, yeah, because I added drawer controllers on all of the bottoms, and I think I hooked up most of these. Yeah, I did. Oh, except this side apparently, and this side. Whoops. So I hooked up 2 of the sides at least with some trim, and I decided to use oak trim just so it's easier to spot in the background, because that way we can easily maneuver around it and not worry about breaking the hidden trim, this guy, the frame trim. So we can now grab some covers. Cover, give it to me, thank you. And we can do bam, bam, bam. And that is a simple automation for all of these processors. Let me just toss all of these inside. There we go, there we go. And that's complete. That only took like 2 minutes. I also want to mention that in the background here, I ran the cables a little bit differently. I basically ran them on the edge all over the place on all 3 levels. So everything is hooked up with refined storage if need be. And that meant that we basically don't need to have any covers here on the corners, because if you have covers with cables on the corners, it makes really wonky lighting glitch things, which we've seen, I think, in here in the dissolvers room. Yeah, it makes that happen. So maybe even in here, we could get away with, yeah, we can probably just remove this, and then we can grab some cables. And we can basically hook up these detectors, possibly like so. And then we can do that, and we can grab some more quartz pillars. We do not have any more quartz pillars. Okay, I'm out of quartz. So apparently that needs to happen. Let me also grab some more antimatter if we can sneakily grab it out. But I'm gonna go around here and fix all of these in a moment. We can just do, we can reconnect them like so, and then I'll fix the quartz in a bit. But basically this means that we have a lovely, let me in game, thank you very much. Basically it means that we don't have the weird lighting glitches. Apparently we do, because we still have cables up top. Hold on. Oh yeah, we need to connect this as well. Whoops, on top. Boom, and then we can remove that. And then we can place this and this and this. And if we head on inside, we shouldn't have any lighting glitches. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna fix that later once we go mine some quartz, I think, in the nether, because I am currently out. And what can we do for quartz even? Possibly a quarry just to get another quartz ore, or a laser as well. That could work. But can you can make it with barium and silicon dioxide. That could also be a neato idea, maybe. I mean, another quarry will be just great because you can get netherrack as well and everything, and glowstone. I think that sounds better. Actually, now that I think about it, we have power now. We can so get into a quantum quarry now. That was kind of my goal. That's what we needed. All of the power. Not 25 million of it, but a lot of it. I like the draconic wireless crystals. They are really cool for transferring power to all of our machines. It is really nice to do, but they provide us with these weird lines going throughout our base, and there's no way to disable it. As far as I'm concerned, I did some bit of research and there is no info on how to disable this. It should just be probably in the configs or some sort of upgrade on a machine, disable laser visual, something. And what I want to do is I made this machine infuser, which allows us to infuse power cells or any other machines from RF tools. And what we can do is we can hook up power cells, kind of like we had before, around the base for where we just want to have a little bit of power. And more than the wireless thingy, this guy, wireless RF transmitter, can make. So what we're basically going to do, let's say dissolver room, right? We kind of have this hooked up over there, and then we can transfer power over here. But what we can actually do is we can put, let's say, a power cell down here in the floor, right? I have one hooked up by the generator, so we can set this to output. And then what we can do is we can put this crystal and we can hook this up to this. And that way we can just disconnect this from the other one, which is over by, I think, the Rubik's Cube. So if we do this disables the link. And what this means is that we still have power over there. We're just transferring it over from the power cell. And I think we can even put this somewhere in the background. It doesn't need to be here because this line doesn't show up. It only shows up. Oh no, it does. You see, it's very faint. I don't think you can even see it, but oh, there, maybe you can see it. It's a very faint line. So I think we can do it like that. Keep them on the floor and then hook it up still to the wireless energy crystal. Or we could just hide this whatsoever and put it somewhere in the floor, right? We can put the wireless crystal like right here, and we can hook it up still to all of the machines, which actually, now that I think about it, sounds like a much better idea than doing everything weirdly. So we're going to grab the redstone lamp, put it back here. We're going to put the wireless crystal right here. We're going to put the power cell somewhere here. And then we can do this guy. Oh, we can even move it closer just so we can have it super condensed like that. Bam, bam. It's set to output. And what we can then do is just do shift right click. And we can come over to all of these machines and we can just do right click, like so. We're still going to get the particles for the power, which is perfectly fine. But we're not going to get the stupid crystal laser bits that go all around my base, which makes it super annoying. So now we shouldn't have, if we head on out here, I didn't even mention that I built a cube around this in between episodes just to make it look nice. And I hooked it up with the green kind of line, and it's a bit wonky and weird, but I think it looks cool. So now we don't have that weird line going from here to that cube where our generator, or actually to this cube where our power is. So now we can do basically that all around the base and switch everything over to advanced power cells. And we can only use the Draconic IO crystals specifically if we need 1,000,000 RF somewhere. But I think the power cells, as we accumulate them, are going to output more and more RF per tick because they join kind of like a multi-dimensional network of power. For example, here in our machines room, we're going to take down this wireless crystal. We're going to put it here in the floor, and then we can put a power cell. I need to find the infused one kind of like here in the wall, and we can do that. And then crystal binder it over like so, like so. And then we shift right click this guy, and we need to go back to the Rubik's Cube. And we're just gonna, actually, nah, we don't, yeah, we already moved it, so it just disconnected. It doesn't need to move. Anyway, in the machines here, we can then shift right click and hook up power to all of the machines as we had before, so they can all start working and doing their thing. As you can see in this room, we don't have the line anymore, and we don't have lines going anywhere. So down here, for example, we have the power cell, the basic or the Draconic Energy IO crystal, and then the wireless energy crystal still transferring power to all of the places. I'm not too worried about having these particles. They're kind of nice. You can kind of see power going to places. And in here, we don't even have machines in the walls, except for maybe this one that would need power. So if we, for example, take this and toss it in here, we should see some particles going through the floor. I think up to there, maybe. Maybe it even takes, oh, it could be, oh, there it is. There goes the little tiny particle of power. Anyway, so that is perfectly fine. If that bothers me, we could even put power cells for all of the machines in the back. We do have space, I think, if needed, but I think it's all fine. I want to finish off our wall with the simulation chambers and the loot fabricators because I don't want to stick just any old machine in the corner and have it look weird. We're just going to finish it off. We're going to create some more pristine matters from some more data models, and the Guardian data model is currently faulty, so it's not going to work in a simulation chamber. And we need to go into a dimension, and we need to go into an ocean and find a ocean monument. And that is going to take just way too much time, in my opinion. So I'm going to do that in between episodes if I have time. And if you have any other idea of how we can get a Guardian, please let me know down in the comments down below. But I think that's the only way. So over here, we're going to have to do things a little bit differently, and that means we need to get some of these drawers, and I'm going to have to make another one. Where did I stick? Where is one of these? Because you make them in pairs. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to take this, and we're going to put down these drawers. Let me also grab my key, put it in the offhand, just so we don't have unlocked drawers in these places, and we're going to do that. And then this one is also going to be a 2x1 at some point. So the hellish and the overworldian matter is going to go, for example, the hellish one right in here. And let's quantify this. And then you're going to also get pristine matters. So in the back here for the detector, we're going to set emit a signal when we're under 1,000 of these matters, export the polymer clay, and you should get the gas data model. So you should be getting us pristine gas matters. And then over here, we're going to say gas tier. I do have 1.4 thousand of this. Let me grab this portable grid. This is very useful for when you need to extract everything out of your system because it doesn't fit into your inventory. So we can do that. Okay. And then we can toss them in here, do a quantify, and then also grab these guys from in here. And apparently I forgot to process a little bit of limestone. Let's do this just so we can extract all of them. There we go. Toss them in here. The last one up. There we go. Cool. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to set this to be emit when we're under 1,000 gas tiers, which is probably never going to happen unless we start using them for anything. And we're going to do redstone mode, pristine gas matter. And we don't need a crafting upgrade in this one. So this just means that this guy is going to run for a bit and do its thing. And I believe in the back here, we did do a retriever. So all we need to do is just grab some ducts. And we can do bam, bam to extract everything like so. And then here on this side as well, boom, boom. So that should have extracted the hellish matter. It did. And also the pristine gas matter. Cool. These guys on the bottom here also have a retriever going to the drawers, so we need to do the exact same thing on this side as well. Like so and like so. Cool. So that is all the extractions sorted. And on this side, I think I will stick the zombie data model, and I don't think I have any sort of pristine anything in the system from any other ones. So we need to, again, craft a little bit of polymer clay. We're just gonna, it automatically crafts it for us, so it's lovely. And we're gonna do this, and it's just gonna run for a little bit until it gets us a pristine matter. And we're gonna do the same for the spider one, because we can use this to get ourselves some string. We don't really need spider eyes, we get those from witches, but string is a thing that we can use for wool and for other things. So that is gonna be nice to get. I'm gonna split this like so, just so we have a little bit of a better chance of getting that. And as far as the Guardian one goes, I don't think I can stick it in here, but it says insufficient data model. So we're just gonna toss it in our deep learner for the time being. And we're gonna go see if we can find an ocean monument in between episodes and see if we can get that to the regular tier. I was doing a bit of thinking, and we don't really need the zombie data model to rerun to turn into iron, because we're gonna just set up a quarry and we're gonna get insane amounts of iron from that. So this thing I basically turned off, and this simulation chamber is currently empty. We can toss in another dragon data model because I added the production of dragon hearts, because we can use those to make Waken Draconium at some point in the future. We can automate it as well. And over here, I currently still have the gas tiers, and I kind of turned those off as well because we don't really need them. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this gassed drawer and we're gonna set it up downstairs in the base, because I grabbed this string drawer from our mob farm drawer kind of thing. So basically, the spider ones is still running and it's still gonna do its thing. And we set it, I believe, to 20,000 or 10,000 string. So it's only gonna back up the 1,000 of the pristine spider matters, which is fine. And then in here, we're gonna have 2 drawers currently still empty. And we're gonna have a guardian data model at some point in here that's gonna produce the pristine guardian matter, which is gonna go right here. And what we can then produce with these 2 loot fabricators is we could potentially split them in half and produce the prismarine crystals and the prismarine shards as well. Because the shards is the one thing that I would need, because it's used to make power cells. And I think we can make prismarine shards in a different way. We can use quartz and overworldian matter for the amount that we would need. I think that would be sufficient, but since we're an overachiever, you know me, we're gonna set it up at some point once we get an ocean monument and find guardians as well. I have prepared 2 rows of alloy furnaces with 3 fluid infusers in the middle, which is gonna be everything that we need to automate all of the alloys that we need as of right now. There are a few that we might still need in the future, but we're gonna tackle those if we actually need them. But for these, what we need to actually automate is we need tough alloy, ferroboron alloy, and then we need these 3, which are basically tin silver, lead platinum, and shibuichi alloy, which is basically, I believe, copper and silver, which are used to make these 3 alloys here, which is the lumium, inderium, and the signalum. And then we just have bronze, steel, electrum, invar, and then I decided to put constantan in here. We're probably not gonna need it, but I just needed a filler spot. And also manulin, because that's the other thing that you can make in the alloy furnace. It doesn't have that many other recipes, so I think that will work for what we need. And we can actually cover this up over here. The interesting thing is these ender porcupines up on top. Basically what these do, if you look in here, there is a bit of a GUI. And what you basically do is you can use this to detect another block. And I don't know if you will be able to see this. Let me just break a few of these blocks here, and I'm gonna go here to the right. Do you see the little faint green outline around the ender porcupine here? Or around this guy over here on the bottom, if you look at it. So basically this means that this is connected to this. And what we can then do is we can use an exporter to export fluids directly into these 3, because these require fluids, and we cannot do that with one single exporter. And the reason that we need them up top here is because in the back, we are gonna have the item duct with a retriever that's gonna pull in all of the products that we make with these machines. So what we then need to do is we just need to go around for each detector, set it to like 1,000 of each of these, maybe a little bit less for these 3 because we don't need that many. And then we can just automate all of this, probably except for the inderium, because currently our platinum game is very low. We have 1 single platinum ingot. So we're gonna need to sort that out with a quarry. But I'm gonna go around and automate the other ones, because we do have a bit of ingots for all of these that we have gotten through running that that quarry once in the other dimension. So I think we will be able to get at least few of these up and running. Everybody that can be automated right now that we have the resources for is set up. We now have on stock all the time 1,000 invar, 1,000 electrum, 1,000 lumium, 1,000 signalum, 1,000 bronze. We are eventually going to get 1,000 steel because it's currently being used to make ferroboron, which is then used to make tough alloy. So we need to make 1,000 of this, 1,000 of this, and then 1,000 of that. And over here, it's currently producing constantan as well, which needs a few upgrades, which I forgot. Give me some of these. 2 should probably be enough. 3 then. Yep, there we go. 3 is perfect. Cool. So that is running. The manualin, we need to get cobalt and ardite online, which we are going to do with a quarry. And I think for the quarry, or quarries, I should say, I'm going to set up another room where we can have the whole ore processing set up with the quarries inside of it. I think that will be a better idea to do, but this is pretty much complete. And I want to just mention one thing that you should do here if you're doing this the same way. On the retriever, set it to round robin, because if it's set to nearest first, it's only going to extract out of the first one if multiple of these are working at the same time. For example, here we're making the tough alloy, and we're also extracting the constantan. So you can see this is currently constantly being extracted. And this one, it builds up a few, and then it's extracted, right? So basically, it means that if you have it on round robin, it's going to extract from all of them kind of like equally. So that way you never get one machine stuck with 64 items inside of it and waiting for the other machine to finish, which is really cool. So we can basically cover all of this up. And the rest we are going to set up in the next episode when we tackle a quarry, which is going to be really, really cool. And that is looking pretty neat. And I'm currently noticing one thing. It was the thing that was bothering me before. In here we have this line, which is where the exporters are. And I think the ceiling should be on this level, in my opinion. Which it doesn't matter because it's the inside of a cube, so nobody will know that this inside is a bit lower. But what we can do is we can just fill all of this in and basically make the ceiling that way. And that way the room looks kind of neat and connected and all looking pretty cool. And this brings us to a lovely point for the end of today's episode. We're going to come back next time and automate a quarry and also ore processing as well. We might even do another quarry as well. So that seems like a good idea and it's going to be pretty cool. And with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I am really hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. You can also subscribe to get notified of when new videos go live. And you can also support me on Patreon down below if you want to play with me on this server. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.